One crow, sorrow.
Two crows, joy.
Three crows, a letter.
Four crows, a boy.
Five crows, silver.
Six crows, gold. Seven crows, a secret.
Never to be told.
A heart full of sorrow. A heart of joy. Never had a letter. Never had a boy. A handful of silver. A heart of gold. Always had a secret.
Never to be told.
Morning, Peter.
Morning, Madville!
Couple prison bars coming loose.
Saul, wake up.
Morning. How about a town hall meeting?
Alice,
Good morning.
stock up the store, you've got customers.
Daniel, Madville.
Madville miscreant.
Well, build something, for God's sake.
Get us started, Saul.
Begin our day.
At the beginning.
We can't start.
Ever. Never.
Can't leave.
Ever. Never.
We're forgotten.
From ourselves.
What I love is Madville!
Madville.
Madville!
Madville.
Come on! Madville!
Madville.
Where are the kids?
Where else?
Madville. Some would have you believe that it was a fortress.
It was not a fortress.
And childhood's imagination gone awry.
But we know.
We're not supposed to know.
It was a fortress.
Dad, come back. Come back!
Sing.
Sing!
Sister.
Brother.
Blister.
Father.
Oh dear.
Sing it!
Dad.
Sister, on one point alone we both agree. If we had all our wants, there'd be one less pair of pants in this family. He's my father, she's my blister continuously.
If I'm naughty, he'll tell.
'Cause you're snotty as hell. Continuous calamity. I'd give anything to have another boy around the house to share my hideout.
If I had my way, there'd be another girl, and then we both would tear your eyes out. He's my brother.
She's my sister. But there's a bright side you can see. If we weren't related, we'd end up blind dated and end up matrimoniously. Oh gee.
Oh, brother.
Oh sister. Don't ever wish that on me. I guess we're happy as can be.
Pick or pull a rock out of the ground, and it'll be back the next day. The rocks grow. They grow.
The rocks grow.
They grow.
They really do.
Faster than the trees.
You never stop, do you? She can't stop.
There's only 3 things keeping you from eating a chicken right away. The head, the feet, and the feathers. Oh, sure. Sure, the head's gone soon enough. Can snap the feet off in a second if you twist just right. But the feathers? No one ever tells you about that. They go on and on about the head. Running around headless. Just take the feet off first and you won't have that problem. But the feathers? No one ever finishes defeathering a chicken. There's always one left. Always. Killing a chicken's easy for me, isn't it? Born and raised for it, wasn't I? Is that why the genius is shacked up with me? I wish we had a shack. Just keep playing, keep playing. You don't know. You can't know. Pluck a chicken and you'll know. You'll know. Clean me up and you'd no idea. Oh, what I wouldn't do for a hot shower. A nice, stinging hot shower. Water gushing out endlessly. Of course, I'd settle for a washing machine. You got one?
I would have given her one, but my head was somewhere else.
Where? I never sang.
I never sang. I didn't want to. I knew the words, and I could carry a tune. I never wanted to. They just didn't ask.
I never asked.
I was never asked to sing, I just did.
I sang because Alice did. Because Alice could. Because Dad played.
They never asked.
I sang my heart out.
A piano on a mound of dirt.
Just try to avoid my sound now.
We hear it in Madville.
We played to it. I played to them.
No one played in Madville.
Keep playing art. Did I say stop?
It was real.
Madville.
It is real.
I discovered them discovering Madville.
You weren't excluded.
It was excluded. I wish I was excluded.
Was it real?
No, it was real. I know because I was never there. Never passed the spitting stone.
Pass the spitting stone without spitting and...
Spend the rest of the day in the jailhouse.
My jailhouse.
Silence gets to you, doesn't it? You just can't take it, can you? You're scanning your memory right now for some story to fill the silence. Come on, storyteller.
Remember Cecil?
Not Cecil.
Is the missus home?
Still here. Still wanting my...
Washing machine. Mrs.
Yes, Cecil.
I don't mean to trouble you at all.
No trouble.
It seemed, Mrs., that
Slow down, Cecil. Don't get in a huff.
well, it seems that I've,
Run out of smokes?
yeah.
Hello, Cecil.
Now, Mrs., I'm not the kind of fella that just, takes...
He's always wanting smokes in exchange for his pony.
I got this pony, see?
Here.
Pony in a cart?
You can have the smokes.
Oh, a pony in a cart?
It's all right. Have the smokes.
Oh, but I'd be putting you out.
Take the pack.
The whole pack, you sure?
She was sure.
I'm sure.
God bless you, Mrs.
Never stepped foot in a church.
God bless you, Mrs. Next time I'm in church, I'll pray for you and the kids.
Okay.
Well, but he's not done yet. He never is.
If you ever need a trip up the road, just ask.
I will.
She won't.
Say, is the Mr. home?
No.
Say yes, Mom. Never say no to that.
He's just outside the house there, just sharpening the axe.
Good, Mom. Good.
Then I'll be on my way.
Thanks, Josh.
Anytime, Mom. Anytime.
Did it happen?
It did happen.
Yeah, but did it happen like that?
Peter? Right here, right now. I mean, I believe it did.
Back there, where it was, he knows it didn't.
Did it happen?
If it didn't, do I get my washing machine?
Somebody get that woman a washing machine.
Get him a Steinway while you're
Wish I
at it.
had a Steinway.
He was a genius. Or so I've been told. He could do anything. From writing a fugue to rebuilding a grand from the inside out. But could he milk a cow or slaughter a pig?
I'm a musician.
Yeah, he's a musician, not a butcher.
That really depends on what mood he's in and what he's playing.
What were you playing when you moved your whole family out into the woods?
I remember.
No, I remember.
Don't you remember or we'll never know the truth.
They never know the truth.
I've never looked for it.
I know I didn't.
Sally.
We came to Madville by way of a Salvation Army truck.
Salvation.
Sally!
She named herself Sally. This much is true.
Even I will verify this.
He could, but don't.
Sally? Bobcats, Cecil, Snow, bleaching logs, sabotaging armies.
Josh, don't talk now, just rest.
Who can rest?
You can. You can.
Am I still being punished?
Still.
Well, for making Madville a party favorite? It was more to me than that, more than just a story.
Order in the court. Sit down.
It's what I do.
Don't sway.
Nothing but the truth.
Facts.
Poor Peter. Keeping aware of how much fun everyone is having.
Everyone but her.
Everything that we owned, we packed into that truck. Into Sally. And moved deep into the woods.
Deep into Skunk Hollow.
Deep into Madville.
Deep into shit.
Spice it up, Peter.
It almost seemed as if we built our house where Sally died.
Don't sway.
Don't sway.
Please sway.
Skunk Hollow.
Skunk Hollow! Right on the surveyor's map.
There wasn't a map.
I think there was a map.
Who can remember? Can anyone remember?
Rest.
Sally, our home for 2 winters.
The tail end of one winter, really.
Allow me! Truth. We endured 1/2 of 1 winter. Does that work?
Does it?
Works for me.
We lived in the back of Sally. one large bed for all of us, and a wood stove.
Never any wood in that stove, just clothes.
If you can't clean them, burn them.
Here we go again.
There was no one to greet us, but a curious bobcat. Yeah, seeing if we were friend, foe, or if we had brought a house cat he could borrow.
Never saw a bobcat.
Back to embellishment.
It's where we belong.
Over the next summer, we would live in tents, trying to build ourselves a log cabin before the next winter. We had 200 acres of everything we needed right in front of us.
Except logs.
A minor oversight.
All we needed was the desire.
Or an uncle with a chainsaw, a truck, and land with trees.
And we had plenty of desire.
Desire for Madville, and that piano, none for a house.
It would take the feel of one more harsh winter to really get going.
He's back to 2 winters again.
By that following summer, there was
Madville.
And my 200-acre jazz club.
But the rest was Madville.
For them, it was Madville. For me, it was
Bleaching logs.
Wild strawberries.
Plucking chickens.
plucking chickens and burning clothes.
A cord of wood. It sounded big. It looked big. I thought it would last the winter. I'm from the city. Coal and oil?
Back to Madville.
Back to Madville.
Yes, back to Madville.
We never left.
We were always there.
Always.
It couldn't tear us away.
From our beloved leader. I'm flattered.
He's flattered.
Really, I am.
Toothpicks.
Toothpicks.
Soldiers.
A toothpick from a distance is a toothpick. With a magnifying glass, it's a soldier.
Several hundred toothpicks evenly spread out in perfect rows and columns, separated exactly by 1 centimeter increments.
Is an army. To you, they're toothpicks.
He sits there for hours with fine tip markers. Magnifying glass jimmied in the rim of a hat.
Love to improvise. Red, blue, and black can make you regiments from all over the world. Love to get my hands on a yellow. Then his details. To you, this is a toothpick. But if you could see the red coat, gold sash, the spiking sleeve insignia, if you could see that. But to you, it's a toothpick. To me, this is a Royal Irish Fusiliers Lieutenant Colonel's dress uniform circa 1920-1930, right out of the book. Everything but the face, I don't do faces. And that's not all. Silver Star generals, major generals, lieutenant generals, brigadier generals, colonels, majors, captains, lieutenants, second lieutenants, chief warrant officers, major warrant officers, sergeants, major corporals, right down to privates, all on the face of a toothpick.
Why do you do this?
You want to ask me? Why do I do this? I do this because you want to ask me.
Toothpicks. He could make toothpicks soldiers.
Women, men.
He could make closet therapy fun.
How'd he do that?
How did I do that? By doing nothing.
Nothing.
He's still bitter about a chemical toilet.
Oh!
Let's list my proud accomplishments, shall we?
Reform school leader.
Mayor of Madville.
Peter, we're waiting. I'm afraid, Peter, you leave me with very few options here. We're running out of time. Oh, there's no alternative now. You're gonna have to eat. 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 I want to see a look of happiness on your face, Peter. I really want to see you enjoying this. You don't want to insult me, do you? I spent a long time laboring over this meal.
A bouillon cube with toothpaste on it.
And yet he ate it.
We ate it.
We welcomed his torture.
They hang on my every command. Have you seen me lift a finger? They beg to be tortured.
We begged.
I just went along.
At home, we all begged him to be reform school leader, but in Madville, as mayor.
We begged him to be lenient.
But we didn't mean it.
In fact, they begged for more.
They asked, I tortured them.
Torture.
They asked, I punished them.
Punished.
What else would they have done?
They're filling a void.
Amen. Now, Daniel, Just because you're reading this backwards doesn't mean we don't need to hear every word clearly.
Drive City Hall.
Louder, Daniel! More volume, please! Did I say stop? Was the word rest ever used in instructions?
That's the only way the Bible ever got read in this family.
Upside down and backwards.
It's just like them. Nobody ever said life on the farm would be easy.
Nobody ever said we were gonna have a farm.
And we didn't.
We had the animals.
We just didn't have a farm. 2 pigs.
Laurel and Hardy,
50 chickens.
and dropping rapidly.
8 puppies.
Long vanished.
And 1 rooster.
Take it away, Daniel.
1 very angry and very fertile rooster, or so I thought, named Charlie. Now, as far as we knew, Charlie did his job quite well. And who wouldn't give him that kind of opportunity? 50 females to 1 male. The way the eggs are coming, looked like Charlie was doing just fine. But like me, he could never enjoy a good thing. You just wait for the time when another rooster would show up to crash his party. That never happened. But Charlie would always be on his guard. Never sit back and appreciate how good he had it. He was never going to be on a dinner plate. After all, we, the seasoned farmers, knew that if you didn't have a rooster, you can't get eggs, right? Plus, he knew the pecking order. I'm sorry for that. He knew that we'd much rather chop one of his lovers' heads off than come after him. But Charlie grew so paranoid, he began to view all of us boys as a threat. Like we wanted in on a piece of his action. I still have a chunk out of my leg from him to prove it. He wasn't even fenced in. He was so protective of his hens, he was not about to run away. Maybe I've got it all wrong. Maybe he was smart enough to do a head count every day. Maybe he just got weary of seeing his hens disappear so rapidly. I think he knew what our presence meant. See, if we came after 12 o'clock, it wasn't to feed one of his hungry girls. He would crouch down low, and he'd make the most guttural call that you ever heard. And if you heard that call, you're already too late. He was already at your leg, leaving his mark a permanent reminder. I have the greatest respect for Charlie. He did his job. He fought till every last one of his hens was gone. And when it came time for me to get him, I just pretended he ran away. I took the axe to make it look good, and when nobody was watching me, I chased him into the woods. I figured he'd been through enough, what with mourning the loss of 50 of his loved ones. In chicken count, that's genocide. I wanted to show him that I did have some heart. A few months after I gave Charlie his freedom, we all found out a lot of things about raising chickens. First thing is that sometimes chickens will lay an egg without a shell. And when that happens, you have to feed them eggshells. That blows the whole chicken or the egg theory totally up. But the big news to us, is that the hens would have laid eggs with or without Charlie. Could have been on a dinner plate long ago. We just didn't know it. At least he got away. About a year later, I was walking in the woods, and I saw his yellow feathers scattered on the ground. I took him for dead. Figured some animal had a meal. But then, out of the corner of my eye, I saw Charlie with a big bald spot on one of his wings, and he looked at me quite proudly, as if to boast.
You still here, Josh?
I'm still here, Mom. I'm still here. Peter, fill the void.
Life in Madville had come to a standstill.
It always was a standstill.
For you, not me.
Art had come through with the promise of a house.
4 walls do not make a house.
A roof came soon enough.
And then the chinking went.
Mud and moss between the logs get brittle in the winter.
We ran out of wood.
I said to keep chopping.
As he kept playing.
And I kept drawing.
And I kept decorating my own room.
Routine.
Burning clothes.
Drying wood.
Decorating.
Lieutenants,
Burning clothes.
drying wood,
Decorating.
colonels,
Burning clothes.
To shake things up,
Dry wood.
you could
Decorate.
fill the cracks in the logs with
Clothes.
Or you could
Dry wood.
help her,
Decorate.
but leave him.
to finish up the privates.
with yards of snow. Madville would have to wait while we...
Run out of clothes.
Run out of wood.
Run out of things to decorate.
Toothpicks to paint.
A knock at the door couldn't come soon enough.
The drill.
The drill.
The drill.
The drill.
Good evening, madam. Good afternoon.
Hi.
Sorry to disturb you like this. My name is Sergeant...
Make it up, for God's sake.
Smith.
Make it a good one.
Sergeant Smitherson of the Highland Regiment. Could I speak to your husband, please?
You'll want to speak to me.
You really do.
I need to speak to the landowner.
The deed for this property shows the transfer of land from one woman to another.
I tried to warn you.
From the Queen of England to me. One fool to the next.
On June 5th of this year, we, the entire Highland Regiment, will be conducting war games in this area. At present, we have authorization from 2 other landowners in this area to conduct war games on their property. Since our main access route to their property would be this fire road, the only road for that matter, my commander and I would like to receive authority from you or the landowner.
Speaking.
I would feel more comfortable if your husband was present.
Give me the papers.
I haven't even disclosed the details yet.
I don't need details. Look at me. Look at us. Anything out of the ordinary is welcome here, so bring on the cavalry, the tanks, whatever you have, and I will see that whoever comes here will have a good time.
Our purpose here is not to entertain or be entertained.
Will there be lots of troops and trucks?
Yes, ma'am. You might be overwhelmed at the size of this affair.
Have you ever plucked a chicken?
And the preparations begin.
Today is the day that we have been preparing for.
The reason for the toothpicks!
Today is not a drill.
Wake up, Madville.
Today is the day that all of our hard work comes to
The
fruition.
Madville's HQ.
Their numbers may be great,
Most of the Canadian Army.
and we may be small,
3 reluctant kids and 1 eager leader.
but we've faced obstacles like this before.
No, they haven't.
So why should today be any different?
Because it is.
Because it is, that's why. Today, unlike other days, you will accomplish your mission. Today, you will learn how hard you can push yourself.
Yourselves.
Yesterday, you were but children.
The oldest one is 12.
Today, you are men.
And women.
And women.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
In closing,
In closing, I just want to say,
quite humbly,
quite humbly,
that he has taught you
that I've taught you nothing. You are where you are today by the fruits of your own initiative.
you don't need me anymore.
You don't need me anymore.
So go out there,
So go out there
take what is already yours.
and take what is already
yours. Courage.
Courage.
Stand up.
Stand up.
Chin up.
Chin up.
For God's sake, be proud of your
And
accomplishments.
for God's sakes, be proud of your accomplishments.
This is your day.
This is your day.
Not mine.
No more speeches.
Thank God.
Let's go out there and be toothpicks. Diversion A.
Falling trees, sir!
Trees cut and leaning towards the road.
Leaning towards the road, sir!
Ropes taut.
Ropes taut, sir!
Diversion B.
Spikes up, sir.
Proper spacing.
Spikes are properly spaced for tires facing up with the bases covered in dirt, sir.
Grease paint up and out.
Grease paint up and out, sir!
Paint up.
Paint it up, sir!
To them, this was a game. To me, this was war. A war I had been dreaming of my entire life. Book after book I had read of battles lost and won. I had been preparing my entire life for this one event. There's no more hide and seek for this crowd. This was the real thing, and we didn't have to go anywhere. They were coming to us. Their guard was down. They had no fear of retribution. They thought they were fighting a mock war between Team A and Team B, but they didn't count on Team C. I didn't want to hurt anyone, just stop them dead in their tracks. We cut trees to the point where they began leaning towards the road. Then we went down, tied them off so we could go down later and cut the rope. Tree in the road. The only road. Oops. We buried spikes in the ground at precise distances in the road, flat tires. We moved their headquarters signs around so that they would get lost. Yeah, they were vulnerable, not to each other, but to us children. We were with them at every waking hour, in the bushes, in the ditches, even at one point in one of their vehicles. We wreaked havoc on their campsites when they would go out to fight. We didn't go home for well over a week, living off of their rations. Just a quick note about the rations, too. I know when most people hear about a diet of Spam and Hershey bars, they're not exactly turned on. But it sure beats eating a bony chicken with the feathers still on it. Then we went a step further. We stole maps, money, keys to their vehicles, ammunition, clothing, underwear, radio, socks, everything. We got them to the point where they began blaming each other for the lost items. They didn't blame the other team, because they couldn't find the other team, because we had their maps. We were causing a mutiny. They were now more of a danger to themselves than we were.
Where's the goddamn radios?
I've been wearing the same underwear for weeks.
How are we supposed to carry out these exercises without maps?
They were completely immobilized. Things were going better than I could have ever planned. Till this one moment, I was camped out in front of their headquarters in the bushes. I was hiding in a patch of tall grass. I could see and hear everything. There's a helicopter directly above me. My heart racing. The bloody thing was coming down right on top of me. You think they're loud when they're thousands of feet in the air? I could feel my eardrums pulsing with every turn of the blade. I froze. I didn't have a plan. It was coming down right on top of me, and there was nowhere to hide now because the force of the air was blowing the grass down all around me, and there I was, this pimply-faced teenager staring in the face of at least 100 infantry soldiers, and their eyes bulged with shock. This one bulky and fierce soldier came over to me. He grabbed me by the arm to pull me out of the way of the helicopter. He pulled me by my arm for several meters. I could feel it popping and grinding by the force of his pull. He knelt down and tried to say something to me. I could see his mouth moving, but I couldn't hear anything over the sound of the rotor blades. What?
Stay where you are! The MPs are coming for you! We wondered who was sabotaging our mission.
What? Then the rotor blades slowed and I heard what he actually said.
Hey kid, you'll have to wait a few years before you can play in the big leagues.
Then he tapped me on my shoulder and he sent me on my way. I was humiliated. There I was in half a Boy Scout, half Forest Ranger outfit, sporting one of their very helmets that I had stolen from them. And they send me on my way with a terrible cliche. I deserved recognition. I, a prepubescent child, was solely responsible for taking down the entire Highlander regiment. I should have been hunted down by helicopters and tanks. They did have tanks and brigades of soldiers, but instead I was being sent home by the principal. All eyes were on me now. Could have put my head down and walked away, but I didn't. I marched out of there with my head held high, proud of my accomplishments, Boy Scout and all.
Keep the home fires burning.
I continued to torment and confuse the Canadian Army for weeks. They left, having never once finished a single mission. They never found the enemy. They never fired a single shot. And all the while, they never suspected that the very culprits were singing to them and waving flags as they left.
There's a silver lining through the dark clouds shining. Da 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 till the boys come home.
Where were you when all this was happening, Mom?
I wasn't there. But I had plenty to say about it. Well, they think I didn't know about the spikes and the trees. But I did. As a mother, it was criminal not to stop it, but I couldn't. I loved it. I was there urging them on silently. I contributed in other ways. I would leave food out on the table for my little soldiers so they could run in and run out. Every minute spent here was a minute wasted. I would hide upstairs in the closet so that I could hear what had happened that day. I had to bite my lips so that they wouldn't hear me laughing. They think they found all the uniforms themselves. But I found them all. And I put them at the very top of the hope chest. I was more of a mastermind than Saul was. They just never knew it. Would you stop playing that song? It's so depressing. Art?
Yes, Jordan.
Have I ever asked you to leave your piano?
Well, you complained about it.
Have I?
No, you never have.
Well, I need you to. Now.
How long was I hunched there? 30 years? 40? She's never asked me to leave that piano. That's liberating. I hate, despise that piano. I'm feeling guilty for saying that. The feeling is temporary. I don't think this is temporary. They told me I was a genius. I can't remember who it was. Whoever it was trapped me. The day I heard those words, my head buzzed, and I felt an obligation. Twice, maybe 3 times, I felt unrequited joy playing. Unrequited? Unrequited, but never really after that. And never really when it counted, in public. Come to think of it, it was twice. I was quite the piano player. Quite something. There was a lot to be impressed with. She thought I was a genius. She told me. Or maybe I told her. I may have told her. She picked it up herself, though, that I wasn't, and that's why we moved out here. To take me away from all the other accomplished piano players. Her own private genius. Besides, I was getting known as one hell of a piano tuner, and nobody wants that. I remember the day I realized I wasn't a genius. When I met one, Oscar Peterson. I was asked to tune his piano. Proudest moment of my life. Massey Hall. Massey Hall. I would have been just as proud to shine his shoes, but I got to touch that piano he was going to play. I read somewhere that there's no such thing as a straight line in architecture. You can aim for it, but you always stray off course. Well, there is no such thing as A440 in piano tuning, but I got there that day. I tuned that piano 7 times. And for a brief moment, by ear alone, I know I hit A440, if not for 30 seconds before it dropped. And when I was done, I sat there looking at all the seats of Massey Hall. I sat there at his concert grand, scanning every seat. I could see each face, what they were wearing. They were full of enthusiasm, anticipation for the great one. I'm embarrassed to admit this, but what the hell? Then I imagined that they were there for me. Stare at the keys. Keep the audience waiting. Don't start until you're ready. I imagine this was a technique piano players use to make them want you to play even more. The only thing is, the more you make them wait, the better you better be. To hell with them. I make them wait extra long. Stare at the keys. Why am I nervous about missing notes? Don't worry about where or what your fingers are going to play, but the feeling for what you are about to play. I was ready. For what? What were my fingers going to play? Round midnight? How am I playing this? I'm playing so well. I'm not worried about what comes next or how I'm doing. Each moment, each transition just came to me. Like him. I started talking to the keys, telling her everything was going to be all right, just to push herself further, just for me, just this one time. That song was mine. Mine. Until he showed up. Mr. Peterson. Not like in the movies, not at all like that. Him in the wings, secretly watching, quietly thinking, who is that guy? No, nothing like that. He walks in with ease and purpose, having never heard a note, walks right up to me like he would any other piano tuner, and politely gestures for him to have the piano. Of course, I get up faster than you can imagine. And without hesitation, his enormous, delicate hands unfurled and rolled right into Love Walked In, and the feeling was right there, instant. Didn't have to find the moment.
Art.
It was right there.
Art.
And as fast as it was in, it was off the piano and on his feet.
Mom.
No.
He starts walking out and casually says to me, without looking at me, he says, say, could you drop B flat? I like it out. And he was gone. And so was I.
You'd be 25.
I stayed there and tuned that piano all over again, raising it, knowing it would drop.
No, I'm not crazy. I remember. I know what is and what isn't.
I stayed with that B flat for above an hour till I got it just right.
Just go to bed.
But the genius had gone.
Just go to bed.
More like it. That's music they grew up on.
Josh.
That's right. Clock away, Art.
Josh.
Getting closer, Artie. That's what his friends called him. Playing that piano. One note at a time. Tuning it. They could never tell in his house.
He knows that piano is out of tune.
Even the tone deaf could hear it.
But he'll pluck away and save the real tuning for
another day.
That's why we moved here.
How come your piano's always out of tune, Art?
You want to know why my piano's always out of tune?
No one does, but you have to let him finish.
I bet you any money if you go to a plumber's house right now, they'll have leaking pipes.
Art.
Yeah?
The kids are asleep.
I'm not.
Quiet.
What?
The kids are asleep.
Oh, yes, they are.
I'm not.
Art, undress me. I'll just lie here and do nothing. Undress me piece by piece.
Shh. Quiet, dear.
Sorry. That's always tickled me.
Dear, come on now, quiet.
I'm sorry. Okay, I'll be good. I'll be good. I can't help it. Okay, I'll be good, really. Oh, art. Art. Please, don't touch me. Please. Please.
Well, after 4 kids.
5.
5 kids. Let's have a wedding.
Art,
Yes,
let's get fucking married.
sure.
Had to wait till they had 4 kids.
5. Art Keel.
Art Keel.
Do you, Art Keel?
I do.
He better.
Do you join Alliance?
I do.
She does.
He already got me in the woods.
And now, by the power invested in
Me?
I now pronounce myself man.
And?
Wife? There. That's better.
Hello?
His nightly ritual.
I wonder what you look like.
Keep wondering.
Do you resent me?
I find you amusing.
You never answer.
For an ugly son of a bitch, you sure look good in that wedding veil.
This makes me uncomfortable.
Mission accomplished.
I bet you're like your mother.
How?
I bet you're direct like her.
Good insight.
Why won't you speak?
That's enough for now.
Speak! Speak!
Mommy, help me, I'm blind. Oh, false alarm, I can see again.
Plug your ears, Mom.
The story I was not supposed to hear.
Don't tell Mom.
Don't tell Mom. So he's blind, and Saul says not to tell Mom?
Peter did.
I bet you Peter did tell.
That goes without saying.
Losing your eyesight, even for a second, terrifying.
I went blind so I get to tell. Losing your eyesight, even for a second, terrifying. The worst feeling you can have.
It happened so quick. Saul said,
Saul said,
Get behind that metal plate and let me throw rocks at you.
I did it without thinking. Whatever Saul said, we did. Simple as that. I picked up this metal plate off the ground, almost ripping my fingernails off. It was about an inch thick. Got underneath of it.
They all did.
we all did.
Except Saul.
Yeah, I did it too.
He was the one throwing rocks.
And waited for Saul to start throwing rocks at us. But before he did, I got this thought in my head. Why was I doing this? I mean, most of the time we just let it go. I'd do whatever Saul said. I wouldn't even think about it. This time, though, I was really irked by the whole thing. Kind of pissed.
Don't stand up.
No! And the next thing I know, I'm blind. I didn't feel a thud from the rock or a sting. As quick as it hit me, there was no pain at all. No stars, no streaks, no blotches, nothing. Just blackness. All black. And I have to say, if it wasn't for the whole blind thing, I kind of liked it. Really, it's like when you're a kid and you're at the fair with your mom and she lets you go off on your own for the very first time. You're excited, but you're scared. You're used to holding onto your mom's purse the whole time. It's that
freedom.
That freedom. That's what it was like. I couldn't see anything, but I felt sort of free, so I started running around and jumping. I didn't know where I was. I just kept running and running like I could run forever and never hit anything until I did. I ran right into a tree. Will I ever see again? You see, I forgot what happened to me. I forgot about Saul and the rock and everything. And all I wanted was my mom. That's the only thing in the world that would make it better.
The second you say that word.
Mom! I could see again.
Never worked for me.
I swear. The first thing I see is Saul running towards me, terrified. Me having been blind, him having to explain that to Dad, let alone Mom. He sat there inspecting me.
Dr. Saul.
Making sure I was all right. And then he turned to Alice and Peter and he said,
Don't tell Mom!
That is the first thing he cared about.
Why did I throw rocks at you? Why did I ask you to get under that metal plate? No, Saul, don't ask that question. Ask this one instead.
Why did you stand up?
I didn't want you to throw rocks at me.
Nice clothes, Peter. Alice.
It must be my turn.
It's rare.
Wait, they'll stop me.
No. There you go this one time.
Wait.
Now keep going.
Keep going?
Why not?
Okay. Get away with what I can. I was allowed to talk. It just wasn't required. They taunted me. They wanted me to prove myself, my worthiness. Saul always wanted to go to battle with my mind, but I wouldn't battle back. Drove him crazy. I was always content with where my mind was, and any idiot knows that silence wins every battle. No, for me, if you want to battle, let's get in the ring. That's where I want to be. I could kick anyone's ass. They were all spiny creatures, and here's the order. Daniel could always really hurt Saul, and Saul could always finish off Peter. And it ends there because Peter would just wind up crying. I would just watch. They would fight to kill. Well, maybe not kill, but an exposed bone. That's usually what ended it. Or when there was no doubt, stitches were required. And there had to be no doubt.
Yeah, that definitely won't close on its own.
Dr. Saul.
It was Daniel you really had to watch out for. If you happened to catch a demented look from his eye, you better start wondering where the nearest hospital was. Strong, too. He doesn't look it. It was the crazy you worried about with him. He never touched me. They never laid a hand on me. I wish they had, just to see how far I could have gone. But they didn't, because of Peter's near-death experience. You see, I had a secret weapon, and it wasn't my crazy or my mind. It was my thighs.
Crush or kill you.
Thighs that could crush or kill you. I knew I could kill with my thighs. I worried about it. Once, I deployed my secret weapon on Peter. He let me experiment on him, and before things even got going, we had to stop. His eyes started rolling back in his head, and I hadn't even got started. I almost killed him. He was out for 15 seconds before he came to. Never got to use them after that. They never messed with me after that. Probably afraid they'd touch a boob or something. No, my thighs were never needed for anything. Until the war games.
Boot camp.
Boot camp. Saul fills 2 backpacks with rocks and gives one to Peter and one to me and tells us to climb up to the highest point on South Mountain. Peter did great. Scaled it like it was nothing. I struggled though. I got halfway up and my legs gave out. My legs, these thighs. I couldn't move.
Give it to her, Saul.
Come on, Private! Yeah, that's right, Private!
Always Private.
Get up that hill, Private! I order you up that hill!
He was inches from my ear. You usually can't taunt me with screaming. I didn't care that he was screaming, but I was going deaf in the process. He's getting caught up in being a commander. Ignore it. I was never competitive. Never. But with Saul screaming and spitting in my ear and watching Peter scale that hill like he was, and knowing my thighs like I know my thighs, I got really pissed off. I knew my legs were stronger than his. I knew it. I just couldn't make it. I just couldn't make it, and I collapsed on the ground and started crying. Me. Saul and Peter ran off to the nearest training exercise and left this 11-year-old woman to cry for the first time ever. Mom says I never cried, not even at birth. Peter cries daily. My first tears, and as soon as Saul and Peter left, nothing. 8 seconds of tears, and then I was done. I wanted more tears that trickled down my cheek, the saltiness.
You can do this.
I can do this. A girl must cry.
Lie on the ground. It's a nice, cool, soothing bed of moss. Feel it in the palm of your hand.
I want to get up.
Don't get up.
I won't enjoy crying.
You might enjoy crying.
But I'm determined.
Have at it then. Just lie on the flat of your back. Your whole body just sinking into this bed of moss.
No tears.
Turn your cheek so you can feel
The
it.
spores tingling on my cheek. Maybe that'll tickle some tears out.
Nothing.
Nothing!
It's good effort.
Failure! Cry! Damn it! Cry! Out of the corner of my eye, I see Peter's backpack.
Do a rock count.
I did a rock count. Peter's backpack, 4 rocks. My backpack, 14. The little bastards. No tears required.
I don't have any bad feelings for Saul. I've tasted some things I didn't want to taste, like shingles.
But never once do I look back and have any regrets. I mean, I asked for all the torture he gave me.
Begged him for it.
Begged him for it.
Anyone as naive as he is.
I was naive.
I deserved all the punishment I got.
No, you didn't.
Oh. So one time, Saul came up to me and asked,
Do you know what a shingle tastes like?
an asphalt shingle made with tar and tiny crushed rocks.
We get it.
Well, I said no. I mean, why would I have tasted a shingle?
Even asking that question, he was falling into my trap.
Anyone else would have seen that something was up right away, but I thought maybe, just maybe they tasted good. No, I mean, what could it hurt, right? Lick the thing and get it over with.
It wasn't that easy, though.
In order to get the full flavor, you need to bite down on it and suck on it at the same time.
I thought this was strange. But you never know. I mean, we used to suck on burnt matches as kids, and they tasted pretty good. When you're a kid, everything is weird and nothing is... Anyway, I bit down and started sucking. No taste.
You gotta bite harder, and you gotta suck as hard as you can. Let the flavor dissolve in your mouth.
So I bit down and started sucking really hard. No taste, though. So now I am determined to get a taste out of this thing.
Whether Saul is lying or not.
Whether Saul is lying to me or not, I bit down and sucked even harder. And just when I think I'm starting to get some kind of flavor out of this thing,
I grab it and tear it out of his mouth.
It's like having sandpaper ripped from between your teeth.
Sorry.
No, I mean, if you look at my canines to this day, you'll see that they are flat.
Sorry.
No, really. No, take a look. See?
No,
right there,
thanks,
see?
Peter.
That one's pointed, and the other one is...
We get it, Peter.
Let us feel sorry for you.
That's it.
I think he's quitting again.
That'll be the last story I ever tell.
Pretty please.
Promises that can't be kept.
I mean it.
He really does mean it.
I'll back you.
At the time.
I quit.
Like Mom did that one time?
Like Mom did that one time.
He was going to quit.
The strike is over, comrades.
I got him going again. Put the car in park.
I'm putting the car in park right now.
Walk away.
Right here on the street and walking away.
I resign from being a mother.
It was just another fight, Mom, like any other day.
It was.
Don't hold back, Peter.
Saul instigated it.
I can speak for myself.
We always fought in the car.
I instigated.
It wasn't louder than any other fight.
It wasn't.
I was louder, wasn't I?
Just another fight between Alice and Peter with a little Daniel mixed in there somewhere.
What was it about that fight, Peter?
What was it about that fight?
What was it, Mom?
The old bait and switch. A little noogie on Peter's skull from somewhere.
One of the few car rides in town.
Was it the car ride?
Could have been anyone. Daniel or Alice.
It wasn't me.
A half a tank of gas. You could get away.
It's right on Main Street.
But never me. The noogies never came from me.
I didn't do it.
Stay with it, Peter.
They threw the car in park.
The key is to hit Peter first.
So calmly.
Hit Peter and watch them turn on each other.
Alice!
Daniel.
I know why.
Why were you stopping?
Daniel.
Alice. I was too loud that day.
Daniel.
Then give this look to Mom.
Peter!
Did you forget something?
Here they go again.
Is that why you
You
stopped?
tried to forget me.
What did I do?
He noogie Peter, not me.
Why were you stopping?
That's it. Stay with it, Peter.
Sit back and watch the drama unfold.
I did not.
Mom!
Mission accomplished.
Alex!
Daniel.
Wait.
I resign from being a mother.
Left the car running in park. She didn't slam the door, didn't shut it.
She shut it.
She didn't.
Walked away.
With me. She walked away with me.
Fight never ended so quickly.
Silence works wonders.
Turn back.
Like you always did.
Didn't expect this drama.
Walking the white line.
With me.
Turn back, Mom. Turn back.
She didn't.
Wouldn't.
Couldn't.
Oh, she quit.
Resigned. She didn't quit.
No more noogies.
But there's so much more.
We heard so little from you after that.
She stopped singing.
We all stopped singing.
Thank God.
Toothpicks went on hiatus.
Months later.
Quiet walk home from school.
Months later.
Like any other day.
What was it? Was it a wounded animal?
What was it? A wounded animal?
I stepped on a baby rabbit once.
Find her, Peter.
Where was it?
They cry. Actual tears.
You're scared.
Scared to death.
Go and see.
I shot a porcupine once.
Is it crying?
Made me cry.
Your heart is.
My heart is racing.
Keep going.
I've never heard anything that I know about.
So far in the woods.
Go further.
Mom?
You weren't supposed to see.
Actual tears.
Mom, alone in her.
Nightgown.
It made me cry.
You weren't alone.
That I know of.
Blind!
Blind!
Rocks!
Rocks.
Shingles!
Shingles!
Regrets?
No regrets.
Josh.
Yes, Mom.
Mommy.
Yes, dear.
What, Mom?
Get up. Get up.
Mom! Mom!
Bite harder! Bite
I
harder!
regret.
What, Mom? What?
No regret!
You, Josh, you.
I know.
I can see, I can see.
That's good, dear.
Let them all see.
Crush you or kill you. Can't tell.
Don't tell Mom! Don't tell!
Don't tell.
Tell what?
Tell! You always suspected something, didn't you, Art? Alice!
Madville.
Daniel?
Madville.
Peter?
Madville.
Saul?
Madville.
Put us on trial.
Put me on trial.
I came to forget.
There's no time to forget.
I'm fine with forgetting.
I'm not.
I only come back to dodge that
You
rock.
can't dodge this one.
I never left.
Put us all on trial. Stop scrubbing and let's go.
Art, play something.
Art, play nothing.
Please.
Mom.
Mom.
Mom. Order in the court. Will the accused please rise? And how does the accused plead to the charge?
What charge, Your Honor?
The charge of exiting the city of Madville without spitting on the spitting stone. How does the accused plead?
I have never entered the city of Madville, so not guilty, Your Honor.
It is considered a capital crime.
I committed a crime.
It is considered a capital crime for entering
There's
or
no
exiting
crime.
for entering or exiting the city of Madville without spitting on the spitting stone.
I haven't come or gone.
How does the accused plead?
How do we plead, Mom?
How do we plead?
For the final time, how does the accused plead?
Say nothing.
The court assumes a verdict of guilty when the accused remains silent.
Silence equals guilt, Mom.
I know.
Witnesses, please acknowledge that the accused stands before you silent.
Silence.
Silent.
Observed, Your Honor.
Silence.
Go it alone.
Peter, do you observe the accused's silence?
Mom?
Mom!
Peter.
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 Peter!
Josh.
Should I be silent now?
Peter!
Observed, sir!
Good. Silence.
We are hereby led to believe by the accused's silence that he is indeed guilty of the charge. This crime is punishable by up to
Life
1 hour in the
imprisonment.
Madville jail.
Oh, Josh.
The jailkeeper has a guest? I have a guest!
I asked for it.
Court is adjourned.
Here it comes.
Art!
Yes, Joanne.
I can't feel my legs, Art!
Art?
Art?
Peter, remove the accused.
Yes?
You're not.
Peter.
I'm not a genius.
No.
If I can't be a genius, we can conceive one.
You did
The
it.
room is.
How did I get you pregnant?
You didn't.
I was only ever around piano.
I
wasn't.
Is there a last minute
Plea
plea
from the witness?
I'll never touch that piano again.
I can't feel my legs, Art!
I'll never touch that piano again.
The whole room!
Well, maybe just a
It's
bit.
spinning.
Occasionally.
Josh, come back!
I'm already
A
in
motion
motion.
from the accused.
When I'm all by myself, I'll play something.
Oh, Josh. Josh, you are so beautiful.
Just one tune.
I want to hold you.
I'm so glad you did.
Hold who?
The court acknowledges that the accused
Holding me.
holding someone.
Holding me.
Holding who?
What was the point?
They said. Who said what?
I ask the questions here.
I'll play a tune when I'm all by myself.
Let me hold my baby.
Hold me!
Peter.
Hold me.
Daniel, order in the court.
What was the point?
Give me my baby.
I'm here. Order must be restored.
I'm here. Joshua.
Joshua.
Your child is still.
Be still.
Born. Joshua.
Joshua?
The court acknowledges Joshua.
Joshua. Your child is... not mine.
Do you have something to add?
I opened my eye for you.
One eye.
Mommy, I'm blind.
Daniel, do you have something to add?
I wasn't lifeless.
I knew you weren't lifeless.
Joshua, kill you.
Alice?
I opened my eye for you.
One tiny little sliver, but I could see.
I can see.
Order, Art.
Now let it close.
No!
I only want to hear from Art. Dad!
Like it did. I closed my eye.
Why did you look at me?
I heard crying!
Never opened it again.
Peter?
Hon, where are the kids?
And they took me away.
The court can only acknowledge statements from Art Keel.
I can't feel my legs.
Art Keel.
If I had stayed with him.
Him.
Proceed.
He was a kind man, a prince, really. He was
I was...
boring.
a genius.
They ran.
We ran.
With
I
me.
had no idea my Joshua was
Sick.
inside me. Sick.
Sick.
I cast the judgment here.
We aren't.
They aren't.
We weren't.
Keep going.
Proceed.
I was 17.
The genius made her run.
Why did I run?
We ran.
You're not on trial here.
We all are.
Josh, I wish you could have made it into the woods.
Could have seen bobcats.
Silence.
My little genius.
Could have bleached love.
Silence.
A genius would know.
Help me dodge that rock.
Silence!
You're not my genius.
Order!
Order!
Let's hear from the accused.
I only want to hear from the accused.
Mom!
Mom!
You were all accidents.
How can you say that?
I'm an accident?
That was an accident.
I knew I was.
I love being an accident. Could you make something like this on purpose?
All accidents.
Disappointments?
Disappointments?
Surprises?
Am I under oath?
Not necessarily.
You are.
She doesn't have to be.
Doesn't have to be.
She is.
I am.
Brother.
You were all
Oh, sister.
unpleasant surprises.
Don't ever wish that on me.
Ran right into a tree.
Would you like to address the court?
Down the hall from me, a woman just had a baby. Poor thing just keeps crying and crying.
I never cried for you.
None of the nurses can get the poor boy calm. It's the mother's first.
I was your first.
The court acknowledges I wasn't first.
Wouldn't stop crying. Poor mother, she couldn't help it.
Poor mom.
You couldn't help it.
Order.
I asked them if I could have a go.
What did they say?
Oh, he was crying so hard.
I I opened an eye, but I never cried.
They were so desperate they couldn't say no.
Couldn't hold me.
You needed
Alice?
something to hold.
I had that kid calm in less than a minute. The worst thing you can say to a woman who loses her child.
Losing a child.
When I'm all by myself.
The worst thing anyone could say.
I'll play a tune when I'm all by myself, but this time...
The worst thing they could say if I lost my child.
It's not for her, not for...
If I lost my child.
them or anyone else.
If I lost my child, I'd kill myself.
For her.
I took an axe to make it look good, Daniel.
Did you feel like that?
But I didn't feel like that.
For Joanna, from now on.
Didn't feel much of anything.
She didn't feel...
Didn't feel like killing myself.
And what song should I play for her?
Why don't I feel like that?
I'm glad she didn't feel like that.
I cover the waterfront?
Should I feel like killing myself?
Body and soul, yeah.
Joshua! Joshua!
Hold her legs down!
I know.
Joshua!
Give me a second. Stardust. I know it's cliche, but it's gotta be...
Hold my legs!
Hold them! Stardust.
She doesn't feel you.
I can't feel you holding them.
Smack her legs with your hands!
Stardust.
I loved you so much.
Can you feel that, Mom?
Can you feel that?
You were my first, Josh.
Did you feel that?
Art?
Yes, Joanna.
Artie, I'm sick. I'm so sick.
I left you with him.
Meningitis. I know, Joanna.
Can I stay here for a while?
Can I stay here for a while?
The verdict of guilty still stands.
The hospital? Sure.
It's such a relief to know that you are sick.
Is it?
In chicken count, that's genocide.
Lighten up, would you?
Sure.
My dense little genius.
Josh, come back. Come back.
My first and very much planned. The only selfish thing I'd ever done in my life, and the worst thing one can do.
All rise.
All rise.
Play something, Art, just play anything.
Only for her. Only for her.
Something happy?
Something fast.
Something.
Play anything, quick.
Begin our day.
At the beginning.
But we can't start.
Ever.
Never.
Can't leave
Ever.
Never.
We're forgotten.
from ourselves.
What I love is Madville.
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 Madville.